Okay, so let's get started on character creation. Now, what I mean creature design. So this isn't a creature, obviously. This is a character design, but I just wanted to show like what a quick sketch ends up looking like once I'm done. But I start out really sloppy before I get to this stage here. I just wanted to show that indeed, when I spend the time to do a little more overall sketching before I start my painting, I have something that's more like this. But when I first start out, I might start out my creature design with something really simple like this. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started then. Oh, I need to make a layer first. Then I'm going to discard that one, make a layer under here, and I'm going to put it to white. And I'm going to sketch on top of that just in case I don't like it. I can easily get rid of it. And go to image size. So my document is set up for 1072 for resolution. 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. I'm zoomed in 100%, so view actual pixels. I have a size 5 brush, and that's what I usually sketch with when noise and shape dynamics, and this is both set to pin pressure. And so the harder I press, the harder the line. The lighter I press, the lighter the line, and thicker the line, like so, like that. So it's kind of like a regular pencil. Okay. So the first thing I think of is kind of like what I wanted. I knew I want him to have sort of a round head. I know he wanted him to have one eye. He's going to have one eyeball, so I know he's going to have this big, goofy smile as well. That's too high, probably. So he's going to have his eyeball. He's going to have this big, goofy smile. So this is what I know about him in my head so far. I know he's going to have like this long, skinny neck. He's kind of silly. I know this is a character that I'm actually doing for a novel. Fantasy novel I'm working on. I'm just in the outlining mode right now. I haven't started actually writing it because I haven't finished my other novel. And I'm thinking he has like these wings. Now, first I thought maybe you'd have like these arms and legs, but then I thought, nah, I want him to have these kind of, big, maybe duck-like feet or something. But I know I kind of want him to have this kind of hairy, fat body, and like maybe some type of wings or something. And what I mean by sketch is you don't do this. That's scratching. See each one of those little lines? So that's scratching. Sketching is this. Making deliberate lines. But you're not doing this. You're not. That's not sketching. That's just going to be sloppy. I guess that this really sloppy doesn't matter, but you want to save as much time as possible. Just throw down the shapes and get as quickly as possible to what you want. And so I'm thinking he has an eye there. Obviously it's an eye. Just going to kind of shade in some color to show that it would be an eye. I'm thinking he has, and also you want to stay, kind of far, like thumbnail sketch, not getting too much detail when you come up with the, so I was already starting to get carried away and I wanted to go in and start doing some detail because I had an idea what I wanted there, but I'm going to force myself to stay out here. I know because he has this big smile, he needs a slightly different shaped head, so I can add little things like that. I can come down here and kind of give him a shape like this, and I kind of give him a shape to his head like up there like that. And he would have ears here, and I'm thinking, well, if he doesn't have arms, and I was thinking, this guy's really goofy and silly. Maybe he can have like little hair like that. So I know he's really goofy and silly, and since he has like these wings, here, these little useless wings that can't pick up nothing, don't have no claws or hands, I guess he can use his big silly mouth, but I'm thinking, no, he's got to have something else. Big old teeth like that, and then his bottom part of his mouth. Thinking something like that, because I want him to be really goofy. Okay, so he'd have a shape like that. Let me see. So I'm thinking he needs arms, and ears. I'm thinking maybe what if he had hands here instead of arms, or instead of ears? He had little arms and hands. I'm thinking, yeah, that's crazy. That totally matches his weirdo style. So I'm thinking maybe even a longer neck. But this guy's crazy looking. So this totally fits the personality of the character idea I had in my book. So you just do that really quick, these little thumbnail sketches like that. Once you have something you like with the shapes you like, then you go on from there. So I would actually go through several iterations of this guy. First I had him with this neck, and I had him with like this body like this, and these arms, and I had him with like legs, and he had his head. And I kind of had that body shape at first when I first did this guy, and then I thought, no, I don't really like that, so I continued. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer there. Anyway, so I continued to mess with them until I had something that I liked. Now, once I kind of have the overall character design like this, and I have something I like, then I can, blow it up and go into higher resolution or start sketching on top of that. So I can make a copy of this layer, delete that layer, put this down here, make it white because I forgot to do this before. I'm going to set this to multiply now because now I have it. Okay, so I'm going to turn the opacity down on this and make another layer on top of that. Now I can zoom in and start adding little details and changing stuff that I don't like about it and everything. So I would, oops, I'm on white still. I would come in here and I would decide to, draw his eye. I'm thinking he has like this oval eye instead of round. No, let's go with round. And at this stage, it's still just, quick sketching, but I want to get. Now, when you see me go over a line more than once, I'm once, like twice, I'm going in that same direction. I'm only pulling on that one direction. So this way I'm not doing chicken scratch. And if I wanted to, I could, oops, wrong layer. I could darken up, this part of the line here. And when you really want perfect lines, like a nice sketch, whatever, you want to zoom in, and then you could keep going over in that one direction and add in a little bit of, this is good for coming in, adding a little bit of shade and everything. I'm just going to kind of add just a little bit of lines. Okay. Then I'm thinking I want his mouth, to look a certain way. So, like I said, I want him to have these big kind of goofy teeth that kind of stick out like this. Almost like buck teeth, but not quite, because they're like really wide. And then his mouth would kind of come down, something like this. His ears would come off like little arms, so they'd kind of come like that. Add that part of his face. And then his head's going to come up like that. And when I'm going to decide, see how I want his arm to be, I'm going to kind of have it like this. And so he's going to have like a little, then he'll have his little elbow, and like his forearm would kind of come like so. And I want his hand to kind of be here like that. And I want him only to have 3 fingers. And so this is, the basic shape of a hand. You want to kind of just draw that down first. Then I'm going to have 3 fingers only, so he'll be like that. And I'm not really sure what I want his fingers on that hand doing yet, but I'm not doing a composition right now. I'm just doing a character design. So where exactly how his hands are isn't all that important yet. And this thumb can actually be tucked down if I wanted it to. And so I start doing that, just designing my character, adding, maybe I come up with little details here and there that I like or don't like. I can go and change them as I see fit. Maybe he has a little bit of hair over there. Oops. So, he starts to come about. So anyway, that's pretty much how it is. That's how I work. And then, I can start designing how his fingers will look and everything as I move on. Okay, so that pretty much ends this video. Please click on the link there to support me, the link in the description. I'd appreciate it. And I have plenty of more free videos on my website there, the Digital Canvas link.